Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the government side, and this House believes that the political dynasty should be abolished here in the Philippines. So first, what is political dynasty? A political dynasty is a family or group that maintains power for several generations. According to the Bill 3413, that has been trying to push by Eddie Casino, a political dynasty also exists when two or more persons who are spouses or are related within the second civil of consanguinity or affinity run simultaneously for elective public in the same area, even if neither is related to an incumbent official. This must be abolished because it abuses our weak democratic structures. One of the main promises of representative democracy is its commitment to future redistribution of material wealth and political power that were accumulated through history justice. What's wrong with political dynasty is that instead of working towards the creation of equitable political structure, they have strengthened the barriers to political inclusion of traditionally disenfranchised citizens such as peasants, workers, indigenous, and other minority groups. In his research, Pablo Querubin has found a causal effect between winning elections and having relatives in office. In particular, individuals who win their first race by a small margin are 4 times more likely to have relatives in their offices in the future, compared to individuals who run but lose by a narrow margin and never serve. These findings are revealing in that they expose how relatives of previous incumbents exclusively benefit from the political investments of their predecessors, which in turn consolidates disproportionate political power in a few families. This is particularly troubling because in the Philippines, a political power is closely linked to economic power. It is unlike other countries that have a distinct political class of civil servants and technocrats that are relatively autonomous from oligarchic interests, and, in the case of South Korea, can discipline economic elites. Instead, as John Seidel argues, politicians in the Philippines have monopolistic control over both coercive and economic resources within given territorial jurisdictions. Consequently, concentration of political power among a few families between a narrow set of economic interests over a period of time institutionalizes economic inequalities and perpetuates a culture of dependency between an economically or politically dominant patron and an otherwise disenfranchised client. It is not accidental that provinces with established political dynasties are also among the first. That's why we, the government side, believes that the political dynasty must be abolished here in the Philippines.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the leader of opposition, and we accept the definition given by the government. But I must add that dynasty is defined in the dictionary as the period during which a certain family reigns as a succession of rulers who are members of the same family. I will be giving the points that could be needed in our stand, but my deputy opposition leader will define each of it. First, our stand is we do not want or we do not approve in abolishing political dynasty. Why? Number one, there is no exact definition about political dynasty in the Constitution. Given the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines Article 2, which states that the state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service by this law if ever it will be used. Another one is the qualifications met. I have seen that in approving in abolishing a political dynasty, in abolishing the political dynasty, it is necessary for us to know the qualifications that is needed the qualifications of the candidates. Another point is that lineage doesn't dictate good governance. We know that political dynasty is a lineage or bloodlines of families running for different roles in our government. But that doesn't necessarily mean that what your lineage does is what you're going to what you're going to do in your present role. For example, another is it's the people's choice if whether they would vote for the candidate or not. And the last one is that it's not the surname or the name of the candidates running for the elections or the government. It's in their own will. By that point, we're trying to prove that. By that point, we're trying to prove that those are the things that we see as to why we do not want to abolish political dynasty. That's all for the opposition.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Deputy Prime Minister of the government side. As our Prime Minister said, we should abolish political dynasty here in the Philippines, and I would also like to add points why. That the trend of political dynasties has also served to limit the liberating potential of democratic politics. It undermines the principle of political equality in its most basic form through the principle of one person, one vote. It narrows the road or the chance to those who are able and gifted leaders who is never being heard. Why? Because voters go to the brand name they're familiar with, and that is the reason why most of our gifted leaders are not given the chance to make this country explore to develop. And it also stated in Article 2, Section 2B, that the state shall guarantee equal access to the opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasty as defined by the law. I strongly disagree to what the leader of the choice who will she or he vote for the election. But the trend of political dynasty, as my DTM said, serve to limit the liberating potential of democratic policies, where citizens are mere subject with no choice or fear to dictate of a ruling family rather than active citizens that are able to shape their political dynasty. Destiny. The choice of the people limits on what is on the ballots that are all almost all of the politicians that are running are members of the political dynasty. And some of the politicians who are not part of a political dynasty only stand a chance to be elected if they work under upper ranks for a political organization. The Dialogue said that we have the chance to vote and to choose. Yes, the people have the chance to vote and to choose. But Madam Chair, how can they vote and how can they choose if the choice given to them was limited to the members of the political dynasty? It will hinder their choice to vote who is their right for election. The members of the Dialogue said that the members of the political dynasty have enough backing in the politics. I agree that the members of the political dynasty have enough background on the politics, and I can say that they have enough background, saying that background on how the politics really run, and I can say that they have the chance to know how really the bad politics can run. What if one of their members that in their political dynasty is a corrupt one, or they can continue what he is doing in that specific place, and it will ruin the people. And I would
that that a lot of people in political dynasty are corrupt. Yes, you may be right, but I can say that not all of them are corrupt. In fact, a few of these political dynasty people have done good in our country. One is Congressman Eric Talinaga, who has been at the forefront of institutionalizing transparency through the Freedom of Information Bill. Another one is Senator Pia Cayetano, who strengthened the system of rights through the Magna Carta for Women. And the RH Bill, Senator T.Z. Tigona has been the champion of participatory rules of governance in budget programs. It is indisputable that some dynastic politicians have a good track record, not bad ones, not corrupt, a good track record of advocating progressive policies. That's all I can rebut because your given information is insufficient. That's all.
Once again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam Chair. I am the reply speech for the opposition side, and excuse me for the government side, but I find their speeches lack of broadening. It doesn't keep, and one of this is that it doesn't hinder anyone to vote because it will be always in the individual's discrepancy or discretion if they would vote for the people who are in the line of political dynasties. And if there is a certain situation that all of the names in the ballots are all from the political dynasty, I may just clarify that it just only means one thing, that they run the government well. It is so opinionated, and how can it be pushed through the bill, like what they're saying many times ago about the bill 3413, if I may say so. How can it be pushed through if there is no definition of political dynasty? May I just stress out, Madam Chair, that politics is not specifically defined, and how would you bring into action to abolish something if we don't know what we are actually opposing? So I'm just repeating what I said a while ago because it looks like they haven't noticed what I've said. The other one is this House would not ban political dynasty because you know what, the real problem is not in the sons, wives, or daughters inheriting the position or following the position, because the problem is a political system that is weak, where patronage politics all still endemic. If we want to change things, we should focus on how to strengthen the rule of law and how to increase competition in the system. And that is why our group should take home the bacon and have the last laugh. Thank you so much.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am the reply of the government side. And we, the government side, strongly believe that we should win in this debate, for we stated our points why we should abolish political dynasty in our country. Reasons why. It has the tendency for harboring power, the taste for domination, and it can make it as a business. We should face the reality that